the end of the day, selling is transferring a feeling. If you don't have the feeling, you can't transfer it. If you don't have a good, positive feeling, dude, you're an actor. You have to sell and run your business from a place of positivity. And however you get there, God bless you. Welcome to the Pete Primeau Show. It is episode 78, and we have a Vegas market sneak peek. You're going to be able to see a little bit about what Bedding Industries of America is up to in Vegas. And to help us with that, we will have Phil Carlitz, co-owner of Bedding Industries of America, and Steve Karns, the vice president of sales. And before we do that, I'm going to pay the bills really quick. If you haven't bought my book, Sell a Million, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and get them while they're hot before they're gone. They're not going anywhere. There's thousands of them. Just kidding, guys. So I want to thank the Mattress Industry Network for sponsoring my show. Steve, I appreciate you. And thank you very much for supporting our show. Mattress Industry Network is a group on Facebook that is 100% free, and it is run by retailers for the entire industry. If you are in the mattress industry, we want you in the Mattress Industry Network group. If you want to learn how to sell, how to succeed, market, merchandise, do all the things that you have to do, join Mattress Industry Network group. And with that, welcome to the show, Phil and Steve.
Hey, Pete.
How are you guys today?
Doing great.
Good.
Doing well.
Good.
Living the dream.
Well, you know, Steve, you don't know this, but Phil does. I'm not going to be able to make market because I have to have a neck surgery. About a month before our open house, my left hand went numb. And at best, it feels numb. And at worst, it feels like it's stuck in an electrical socket. Well, the problem originated in my neck. And so I have to have a pretty major surgery during market. So that being said, I want us to talk a little bit about what we're doing at market and why people should come in and see us. But I want to step back just a minute. And Steve, there's a lot of concern in our industry. There's been a little bit of a slowdown, and actually the last week has actually gotten a little bit better. What would you say to a retailer who is seeing his or her store traffic dropping a little bit? How would you coach them, and can you share some success stories of what other retailers are doing who are having some success out there right now?
Yeah, I'll be glad to do that. First thing, I want to wish you well on your surgery. Any surgery's major, in my opinion, but wish you all the best.
Thank you.
You know, that's a great question, Pete. Actually, it's one that I've been spending a lot of time with a lot of different retailers. In the last 2.5, 3 years, we have had the most amazing run in the mattress industry. I mean, literally, it was endless orders, and now, you know, things get a little bit slower, or let's just say more normal. And you know, my coaching that I've been preaching to every one of the retailers that we sell and the people that I talk to is that it is time to maximize every opportunity that walks through that door. Because when there is less opportunities coming through the door, you know, if you're just doing the same old thing, what happens is you're going to lose volume. You're going to lose average unit selling price, because your fear is that the economy's in a depression or a recession or whatever you want to call it, and the average unit selling price is going to go down. But what happens is, if your average unit selling price is going down and your traffic count's going down, you're in serious problems because it's a double whammy. So what you need to do is get sharp, and you know, things that aren't providing the margins that you need in your store, You've got to seek out brands sort of like what we sell at BIA that are going to allow you to make that extra margin, and that is going to have those value added features that's going to get you to a higher sales ticket, hopefully, with a little bit more profit in there, because your expenses, with gas for delivery and advertising and light bills and everything else, they're not going down. And so again, maximize every opportunity that comes through that door. And by the way, I've seen a major shift with our retailers about sales training. And I want to say the second point here is that over the last 2 years, we haven't been allowed in the stores, and sales training almost ceased. And so I would really work your reps to get in there, train your people, get them sharp again. Again, I go back to that word sharp. You got to merchandise sharply, and you got to get your salespeople at their highest performance level. And then social media. That's my third wheel. And my suggestion there is that get on the Facebooks, do your pushes, raise your awareness, be as active in the community as you can. Whether it's sponsoring a little league team, whatever. Try to get that presence out there. There's a whole bunch of tricks along that ways too, which I'd be glad to talk to anybody about. But one of my favorite ones, I had a dealer that every time he made a delivery, he had made, like those door hangers that do not disturb in the hotel.
Sure.
He had those made up, and it just said, "We just made a delivery in your neighborhood." And so when the one guy was taking care of the paperwork, the other delivery guy would run and put them on the houses around, or the townhouses, condos, or whatever, and he'd hang them on the doors, and then they'd leave. And he said it's amazing how many of those walk back into the front door. And you got to think outside the box.
Yeah. I want to dive into something a little more, and then I want to bring you in, Phil, because I can see you're percolating over there and you've got some ideas to share. And I always love talking to you and sharing ideas with you. The very first thing that you said really hit me hard, and that is get sharp. And when I hear that, we fell asleep. A lot of us. We fell asleep at the wheel. It was coming at us so fast and so hard, and things were so good. We got a little soft. We got a little flabby. We got to get back into shape. We got to start working those muscles. We got to build back up. And this thing about sales training is my absolute passion. Every true blue sales rep that I know was heartbroken when he or she couldn't be in front of their customers belly to belly, working with them, communicating features, benefits, outcomes, how to sell more, how to tell stories, how to romance a product, almost a lost art in our industry, right? And now that we have the opportunity to be in front, store owners, if your salespeople aren't, your sales reps aren't offering training, bump them. Just like Steve said, bump them. And if they don't respond to that, I'm going to tell you right now, replace them, because you have too many things to do as a store owner. You shouldn't have to really worry about your sales training. Your sales reps should be nipping at your heels, asking for time. Can I come in on Friday? Can I come in on Saturday? Can I come in on Sunday? Can I talk to your salespeople? Can I train? If that's not happening, give them one chance and then boot them. I'm sorry it sounds so brutal, but after 40 years of this, I'm going to tell you something. If you're a sales rep and you're not offering training to your people, shame on you. What we do for a living is an absolute privilege. And you need to treat it that way. That's my statement to sales reps. My statement to store owners is the dog that barks the loudest gets the bone. You got to tell people what you need from them, whether it be your employees, your vendors, your sales reps that are there to help sell more of your product. They should be your right arm when it comes to sales training. Phil, I'm sorry, I'm hogging all the time, man. What you got, man? What you got, Phil?
Well, I'll tell you, my favorite thing that I heard Steve say is, you really got to seek out the right brands like Bedding Industries of America. That's, he's such a salesperson. He went right for that one. So I like that a lot. But no, I agree. I mean, I think there's a couple of things you need to do. We're in an environment that is ultra inflationary, and you're in an environment where, consumers might be a little bit scared to spend. So you need the product to be right. You need a product that is affordable but luxurious and offers the same type of value that you're going to get from some of the larger brands that are just charging crazy numbers. So that, I mean, that's one thing, but then there's also just table stakes things that I think every retailer needs to start looking at and making sure that they're offering. Is your financing up to snuff with the rest of the market? What are your delivery times looking like? We've seen dealers go and say, we'll do same day delivery. So that gets people in the store when they see that they can go look at a bed and just sleep on it that night. If I were a store owner right now, what I would be doing, after making sure the table stakes stuff is there, I would be doing mailers to everyone in the 10 zip codes around from you. It's easy to do. You walk into a Staples, here's a mailer, put same day delivery on there. Don't wait 2-3 weeks. And I would be making sure that the social media that Steve was talking about is up to snuff.
I know. I know you got more, but I just have to dive into what you just said very quickly. I'll give it right back to you, Phil. Does anybody here know who the largest direct mail customer is in the country? If you guessed it's Google, you guessed right. That is a fact. And so if you have gone all the way digital and you have forgotten about some of this other stuff, Google uses direct mail more than any other company in the world. So that's just a fun fact. If it's good enough for Google and you worship at the altar of Google, then it should be good enough for you. And the 10 zip codes right around your store, man, that you got to own that. You got to own that. And there was something else that Phil said that was so huge, and it's something that I'm constantly talking to people about. You've got to check your services and your offer. And specifically, he mentioned financing, but it's not just financing. It's financing in terms of what your competitors offer. And don't forget, your competitors just aren't other mattress stores. They're not just other furniture stores. It's the car dealership. It's the electronics store. Those are your competitors too, because we're all going for a fixed amount of disposable income. That the very first thing that Phil said, we're in inflationary times. So that grab for that dollar becomes more important. Phil, I'm sorry, I'm hogging the show again. You think it was my show or something? I know you had a little bit more. I love the product must be dialed in, and that encompasses so much. And guys, I just can't help it. Jim, if you just pull up Hemingway, because I want them to see this product. I want people to see. I mean, this is product that doesn't look like product on other people's floors. It doesn't look like any other name brand's product. It's our product that David and the Bedding Industries of America team took years to put together and get right. And where it is right now, where the stores that it's on the floor, these guys are outperforming everything. So
Bingo.
there's Hemingway right there. if you can keep going a little bit. Stop right there. Thanks, Jim. Steve, walk us through this a little bit, and Phil, feel free to jump in too. That I sent no less than 15 different emails prior to my open house in April, and that image right there, that was the one that got the most opens of any image that I used. The image up above, Jim, if you could go there, the autograph, it's beautiful mattress, and I love that mattress. Did not get the click throughs that stripe got. That is something that is absolutely stunning. Can you go back to the stripe, Jim? Steve, you want to talk about Hemingway a little bit?
I'd love to.
You've got the father of Hemingway right behind you right now. It's
right over here, huh?
David.
So Hemingway, and I think he hit it on the head. I have been in the industry for 40 plus years, and every once in a blue moon, there's a product that goes out into the marketplace that just takes off like a rocket. And Hemingway is absolutely that brand now. With this deep, rich nautical look, we are just super excited about it. And by the way, I sort of love made by American artisans. When you're working stripes in a manufacturing facility, it is not easy. And Phil's chuckling because he knows exactly what I'm talking about. But these are BCI 8-ounce organic cotton covers. They wear like iron, as my wife points out to me. And your sheets and mattress pads stay where you put them. It's not one of these slippery knits that are out there. And then we basically appoint the mattress with a blue denim handles and gussets, and we sort of stay true to our heritage on some of these models. And when I say stay true to our heritage, that they're all of the premium in the Hemingway line are all coil on coils, and that's whether it's a double stack 4-inch pocketed nested coil, or it's our standard 4-inch pocketed coil over a heavy duty LFK on the bottom. You're talking about mattresses that have up to 10 inches of steel supporting you underneath. And so you get a ride that you're not going to get in any other mattress. It's 7, 8, 6-inch, whatever in coil. And they really become indestructible because you're basically replacing 4 inches of upholstery with steel. So the best thing is they go out and they stay out. And, as far as owners of stores, the best product that you sell is one you only have to touch once, and these are in that caliber. That was one of the things I was going to mention as maybe my number 4 in the previous question is that, the back end, you got to take care of your back end too, because we get sloppy when we get busy. And now that things are slowing down, you got to keep your back end as clean as possible. And, just an afterthought there.
Can I tell you a funny story, Steve, about the back end?
Yes.
So
maybe I don't want to hear this, Pete.
No, it's, I forgot. I'm talking to mattress people. So I was with Serta many, many moons ago, and my boss called me and he said, your largest dealer's got a high return rate. And we pulled some of the product and we found wood chips in the cover of the product. And tell him no worries. And so I'm a brand new rep, right? And I'm scared to death. I don't know what to say, what to do. So my boss walks me through it methodically. And you know him, Jeff Allen, who's a great mentor of mine. at Serta, and he said you take him out to breakfast and you let him know before you even start the conversation that every piece that you've returned, you're getting credit for. But then I brought up the wood chips, and he put his head down and he started crying. Now he's got tears running down his face at breakfast, and he said, I just had the same conversation with two other vendors, and there's a lot of money riding on this. My guys are killing me in the warehouse. My warehouse guys are destroying my merchandise, and I'm liable for a lot of damages because he handled appliance too. And the appliance guys, they are absolutely like Nazis on returns. And so he was going to be eating a lot of money with the appliance guys. And so the reason I tell you the story is sometimes we're aware of it as an owner and sometimes we're not. And one of the things that Steve said that's so important, for the last 2 years, we have been super blessed as an industry. I mean, at the beginning of this thing that started, I thought we're in trouble, and then it just like blew up, and it kept blowing up and kept being better and better. And so if your guys in your warehouse got a little bit sloppy, it didn't impact your bottom line because your top line dollars were so big. But now that the top line dollars aren't as big, you've got to look at, how are my warehouse guys performing? How are my return rates? How are we selling things? Are we selling things and managing expectations at the point of the sale properly so we don't set ourselves up for high return rates, right? So I think this back end piece, and it's more than that. It's your office. It's the entire umbrella that we're talking about. But really, ladies and gentlemen, pay attention to your back end. It's so important. You could lose a fortune there and not even realize it if you're not watching. So thank you for bringing that up. We can all tell horror stories of dealers that we loved and they ended up losing their business because they were sloppy on their back end, and it cost them their business because they didn't catch it fast enough. Theft is part of that, guys.
Yep.
The worst thing you'll ever do as a store owner, and I apologize ahead of time if this is the first time you're hearing this, your employees aren't as honest as you. I'm sorry to break it to you. You should assume that everybody wants to steal from you and proceed accordingly. It's a horrible thing to say. I understand it. But I have seen people that I love lose their business because they trusted too much. And
100%. I can tell you story after story after story, year after year after year of just that.
I know.
And it is heartbreaking. It really is.
But
Pete, we were talking about Hemingway and we got off on a tangent. It must be the Pete Primeau show. That's what I'm thinking.
Let's go back. Let's go back to the Hemingway.
So we have, the nautical adventure series Hemingway, and something very, very exciting for Las Vegas market is we're going to be introducing a duvet that goes with the adventure series, and we had our sales reps in yesterday, and they were blown away. Our pre-Vegas meeting with them, and they were blown away by the duvet. Matter of fact, we're doing it in the wide stripe, and we're also going to do the same duvet in the narrow stripe so it can match up. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, very cool. So duvets are again. Let's just touch on that because of your opening question. How do you maximize every opportunity that comes through the door? An additional duvet to that bed. It adds comfort. It reduces pressure points on the body. If someone's suffering from fibromyalgia or any type of pressure elements, you put a duvet on a bed and you just made a mattress on steroids. And you've increased the average ticket, which is what we're here to do.
you increase the average ticket, but the other thing is it's a multiplier of SKUs, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's a multiplier because that duvet could be put on every mattress.
And it doesn't take any additional floor space.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
your sales per square foot just
Go
jump up
Exactly.
dramatically.
Yep.
Phil,
100%.
I see you over there. You want to jump in on this?
I don't know when to jump in. I gotta figure it out. I mean,
I'm sorry.
When Steve's on a roll.
Hey, he's got two mouths. He got Karns and he's got Primeau.
I know. When Steve's on a roll, I just don't want to, get in the way. But no, I look. We did the duvet for a couple reasons. One, we listen to a lot of our dealers who are asking for ways to alter slightly some of the comfort in the products that we sell without having to bring on another SKU. And in the cases of some of these Hemingway beds that we make all hand tufted, you get the occasional consumer that says, these buttons, I might feel them, so what can we do to prevent that? Well, we put a little duvet on, increases the comfort like Steve was talking about, reduces complaints, also reduces returns. If a customer decides, hey, I like this bed, I'm happy with it, but I wish it were just a little softer, be like, oh, okay, we got a duvet, that'll help you out. So it's lowering returns, and it's helping the end consumer, it's helping you. So everything we do at BIA is trying to do the same thing. It's trying to make the dealers more successful. And so that was the purpose behind those programs. And I'm sure Karns will get into some of the new mattresses that we're going to be rolling out in Vegas as well.
Back to you, Steve.
Back to me. Hey, so of course we're going to have the Adventure series there. We'll also have the Inspirations, and which are the double stacked 4-inch pocketed nested coils. And then we're actually going to bring 2 brand new mattresses. And these, and I'm laughing right now because I had a dealer come to the factory this morning, and they were here to pick up some mattresses for personal use. And he goes, hey, do you have time to take me into the showroom? And I'm like, yeah. And, in our showroom, you have to walk through the Hemingway room to get into the main showroom. And right when you get into the main showroom on our platform, we have the brand new Artisan Extraordinaire on that platform. And he looked at me and he goes, I don't care how much it costs. I want that for my store. And I said, well, I can get it to you the middle of August. and he was like, that is the most beautiful mattress I've ever seen. And David really went to work. We got a new component that we're putting into the surface of this bed. It's Tasha silk, and and it's heavy. It's a heavier component than what I thought of silk. And I wanted to grab a piece. Ooh. I mean, this is not lightweight silk, and as you can see right here, it is so soft and supple to the touch. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's thermologically neutral. It actually has a cooling property to it, and it feels. I mean, I can't tell you exactly what this feels like, Pete, but it's really cool.
Will you have a piece of that for the dealers to feel in
Vegas? You bet. Tenuta can't stop himself, so he's been creating a whole bunch of displays to show this product. But one of the true things about this bed is the top bed, the Extraordinaire. I don't know. It's got to have like over 4,000 coils in it. It is a 2-sided bed. We're putting a flax cover, stripe cover on it. I'm telling you, I like beds. I mean, I've been doing it for 40 some years. But when that dealer looked at that this morning and said, I don't even know what it is, but I got to have it on my floor. I mean, that's when you just sit there. And the best part was that him and his wife got up on the mattress, and they had just bought another Hemingway model, and says, oh, I got to have this. So it was pretty cool. Very cool. But so we make a couple models in that. We make the Extraordinaire, and we also make the Ascension, and both are two-sided. Both are double stack nested pocketed coils with nano coils as an upholstery feature on both sides, with Talalay, all natural Talalay latex, and the silk. So you're talking about some of the finest bedding in the world right there. And
so I'm gonna dive into something,
sure.
Steve. I'm actually going to ask you to dive into it because you said it so fast, and there's a lot of people going, some really sharp guys and gals that have been doing this for 25, 30, 40 years that are going, he didn't just say Talalay and natural in the same sentence, did he?
Oh, yes, I did.
And you did.
I did.
Steve, how I love, Jim, put it back up, please. I love seeing Steve's excitement for new product. Always excited to see them in Las Vegas. So there you go, guys.
Yep.
The gentleman that runs the Mattress Industry Network group, over 1,500 retailers, telling you, come see us. B11, what? B1118?
1118. Yep, B1118.
1118. Be there or be squared. The only reason not to go is if you're having neck surgery.
Correct. The only reason. I make a joke a lot of times about when people come into our showroom for the first time. And my joke is it's like taking a kid to a candy store. If you're in the mattress business and you come into my showroom, expect to spend at least an hour there, because if you're going to tour the whole showroom and see the different personalities that we bring to life through our mattresses, and we talked about it. I was in with Stuart this morning, and we talked about it while I was in his office. If you're a bedding rep in the United States, and you wanted to have like the perfect company to work for, it's BIA.
It is.
And I want to tell you, my reps are all they pinch themselves sometimes. One of your good friends, Dave Paul. Dave and I were up in upstate New York riding through the territory last week, and at one of the stops, that's exactly what he said to the retailer. He said, he goes, BIA is where you want to be. He said, this is the best line of bedding that's in the marketplace. And it is. We do it from A to Z. And, we have great creative people. Phil and his brother are such assets to our company.
What a blessing. What a blessing.
Absolutely. They earned their stripes outside the industry. And they brought all that knowledge with them back into the industry, which, by the way, I'm a big believer in. And, it's just, this is a fun place to be. We have fun.
Yeah. And I'm just going to say this. If you are a real mattress guy or gal, and it's like in your veins, you will not be able to leave our showroom. You'll be here for 2 or 3 hours.
Yep.
And we always have great food. So come, stay, eat, have a sandwich with us, have a drink, take your time. It's going to blow you away, because you are going to see, name a category that's important in today's mattress world. We're there, and we're there in a big way. And in a lot of ways, we are laying groundwork that will be spoken of fondly in years to come. That, this was like the perfect storm. How did they get this talent together, and how did they get the creative together? And I remember it was 2 or 3 years ago, and I told the top 100 dealer, and I said, I screwed you at market, and I apologize. He's like, what? What do you mean you screwed me? I didn't insist, and I didn't demand that you go into Bedding Industries of America. But next time, I promise you, I will grab you by your ear and I will drag you in, and you will thank me 2 or 3 hours later because you will not want to leave. You will be like a kid in a candy store looking at what we've created. And it's just, I can't overstate it enough. My dear friend Rick Lynch that I worked with at United Sleep Products years ago, and United Sleep was a domineering force at one point. And my teammate Dave Paul was the top sales rep for United Sleep Products for many years, and he said your line is like United Sleep Products, but on steroids, because you don't just have middle and promotional that's strong, you have high end that really separates, and you have high end that actually retails. And so everybody says, well, this bed will sell, blah, blah, blah. You know what I love? My favorite phone call to get from a dealer is, you know what? I just put it at this crazy price just because it just looked like it was worth it. And I know I shouldn't have, but I did. And I sold 3 of them over the weekend. And I'm like, I'm so proud of you. And I'm sharing the story with everybody without your name, of course, because at the end of the day, there are so many places that we get nicked. And whether it's the electric bill, whether it's whatever it happens to be that has skyrocketed this month that's different than the last month, or some items that came in wrong and we had to discount them to get rid of them, you as a store owner, you cannot get too much margin. You cannot. The cost to acquire a customer to walk through your door to buy a mattress is higher today than ever. And the customer is more distracted than ever. And if you look like every other mattress store and you look like every other furniture store when they walk in, you're going to lose their interest in the first 10 seconds. And I don't care what your salesperson says to them. But if you have Hemingway on your floor and you have Millbrook on your floor and you have some of these outstanding different beds that they've never seen anywhere else, your customer, the first thing that's going to go off in their head is this place is different. And they're going to be like a kid in a candy store too, because this looks different. I don't see nautical themed beds with rich BCI covers on them. I don't see all this organic and natural components and top of the line components. I don't see latex that is both natural and tallow at the same time, which we've been told for years is impossible. Can you dive into that just a little bit, brother?
You circle back.
That's what I do. It's what I do.
So, we, like everyone, COVID was very rough on our industry. And it's how you reacted during COVID, which just tells you how great your company is. And as you may or may not recall, delivery times went out 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks. Raw materials were not flowing into the factory. We were scrambling to produce mattresses. It wasn't that we didn't have orders. We were very supply stricken. And anyhow, we're one of the largest, actually, we are the largest user of tallow in the country. And we ran out of a supplier. The supplier shut down for COVID, and we were in serious trouble because our orders didn't stop. And we were scrambling, and we forged a new partnership with one of our vendors, and they're in the Netherlands. And one thing about Europe is they're about 10 years ahead of us as far as natural and low VOC and all of the natural things that are going on out there. And it was Vita Tallow. They figured out how to make 100% natural tallow. And we are so proud of moving to them as our main supply. And they truly make a great product for us. We use it in just about every line that we can, because it's a premium product. And it has a wonderful feel. So, we run from the very, very soft, super supple towel lay the whole way up to the real firm stuff. And unlike other processes, how they control that in a towel lay process is by the amount that goes into the form. And so if you put a little bit in the form and then vacuum it out to fill the pan, you get a very soft and supple material without having to add any chemicals to make it foam up and become soft. If you want it firm, you put a lot of material in that pan and vacuum it out and vulcanize it, and then you get a very firm foam. In all the other processes, you have to add chemicals to get it to foam up, to soften up. And so that process of towel lay, which I call the gold standard in latex, that's how it's done. So we can control the comfort of that bed from the manufacturing standpoint, just strictly by the amount of material that goes into that form that gets vacuumed out and frozen in place. So just magnificent material. And by the way, it's what I sleep on every night. Well, pretty much every night. when I'm not at a hotel on the road.
Not on the road.
Yeah. Like that. Yeah. We're in a lot of hotel rooms, aren't we, my friend?
Yes, we are.
We are.
Part of the game.
Yep. It's the life that we chose, as one of my bosses mentioned to me when my partner squealed about having to be overnight so much. It's the life we chose.
Yep.
Steve Hoke, I hope you're listening, because you said that a day of reckoning is coming for manufacturers who didn't perform during COVID. And you can see where our company was forced to pivot during COVID. They're 50 years behind. Just turns out better product was better 50 years ago. That's hilarious. All right, let me read this, because when this becomes a podcast, they won't be able to see it. Steve Howe saying, Steve, they aren't 10 years ahead of us. They're 50 years behind us. Just turns out better product was better 50 years ago. Yes. Well said. Well said, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll never forget this as long as I live. I was with a name brand many, many years ago, and the new and improved box spring. My dealer unloaded it out of a truck and said, Pete, I want you to fill this box. You told me that this box was better. And here's my old box and here's my new box. And it was a lot lighter. And I said, wow, I guess the engineering on that must be great. I mean, I didn't know what else to say, but we have, as in general, as an industry, have been experts in furniture too, taking things out. We are your old company. We are the guys that are putting stuff back in. We're using heavier gauge coils. We're using heavier densities in foam, better quality raw materials everywhere. I mean, our fiber pads are better. I mean, everything is better. When you feel and touch a Bed and Industries of America product, you can feel it when you lay down. You can feel it when you sit down on it. You can feel that it's different than other product on your floor. And Phil, we don't need to use the name of the companies, but we recently came on someone's floor about a month ago, and there was another major supplier, and inevitably comparisons started to ensue, right? And so the retail sales pros, they're looking and laying down at our beds, and they're comparing it, and they're basically cannot believe the quality difference. And of course, their customers are choosing Bed and Industries of America over this other very, very large company that will remain nameless. We don't need to do that. Can you just tell us a little bit about that story without all the details? But some of
For
them.
sure, for sure. Yeah, I mean, at BIA, I think we've been able to sell people on a couple of different aspects that make us different than most. One of them is the use of better foams and the durability of the beds that we produce. We are the only thing we're bad at making a BIA is shitty beds. I mean, we're not really good at making low quality stuff. And so it's true. It's true. So we're never going to be the bottom price guy. We don't want to be there. We want a bed that goes out and stays out. And we recently replaced a very large manufacturer, one of their bigger dealers. And when they saw some of the higher quality goods that we were providing, despite the fact that, again, we're never going to be the lowest priced people, but when they saw that those beds were going out and staying out, that they were clearly more comfortable just when you sit on it, like you said, you sit on the end of the bed, that was worth it to them. It's worth it to go up in terms of price and in terms of value, because you're going to end up with happier customers, and those beds aren't coming back. So that's a lot of our kind of mantra here is the use of better foams and the use of better quality materials. You were saying, I mean, Steve was saying really at Mattress Industry Network that the product was better 50 years ago. We haven't really changed the way we've produced beds. In fact, we recently came out with a line of bedding called Lifetime. And the purpose of that was to say, this is a bed that looks like it, was made 30 years ago. And we harkened back to that time. We made it two-sided. We tufted both sides. We put in only 1.8 pound foams and above. That's the highest quality stuff you can get in this industry. And we threw a 20-year warranty on it because we know it's not coming back. When you tuft a bed that many times and you make it two-sided, it's not coming back. So that's really, I think, kind of a core tenet to what we do here. So.
Yep. One quick comment. There was a press release that went out, I think it was either the end of last week or the beginning of this week, about one of the major manufacturers in the industry that was going to, what that was the quote in the article, something that they were going to lessen the raw materials.
More economical
raw materials.
Wrong. Always
That's
wrong.
Never the right way to go.
For 40 years, it's been wrong. In the next 40 years, it'll be wrong too.
Yep.
Whatever problems you have, you just compounded. And the worst thing is it's a betrayal to the store.
Yep.
Because the stores out there, they're spending their hard-earned money advertising to pull customers in, and now they're being forced to give an inferior product, and they don't get a vote in it. The only way you get a vote as a store owner is you got 2 feet, and sometimes you got to get stepping. And going back to the very beginning of the show, when Steve said, the second thing that he said, the first thing he said was get sharp. And the second thing that he said was, we too often as store owners, we dismiss low margin products. And we just go, hey, it's not that big of a deal. I'm still making money. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Store Owner, your door is not loaded with the traffic that it was 2 years ago or 1 year ago. You're not getting the turns at the door to think like that. You have to get a fair return on your investment, and you have to look at and gravitate towards lines like Bedding Industries of America. And I understand how self-serving that sounds, and it is self-serving, but I'm going to say it anyway. Unique products, features, and benefits versus investment. Great, Pete. I'm going to sneak on LinkedIn and see who said that, because it just says LinkedIn user. So you guys got to carry the ball while I'm doing this.
No problem. Well, one of the other things that we're sort of excited about at Market, we'll have the Harvest line of bedding. And if for no other reason, come see what Harvest is all about. if you are a retailer in the United States and are not signed up with Harvest, you are shorting your store and your company. And it's as simple as that. It's a new concept
our
in
guy,
the industry.
James Short. I like what BIA is doing with the Harvest brand. Just emailed you a link, Pete. If you want to show off our new video, it's a doozy. Interesting take on today's environment.
I think we should do that.
I think we should do it too. Phil,
how long a video is that?
I don't know, but we can do it.
But you know what? We can keep Pete quiet for that long.
Yeah. It's been hard to do. I won't shut up. It's like I'm very talkative today. Usually I just let you yap the whole time. I don't even interrupt you. Yep. I was thinking about nicknaming it the Pete and Steve Show.
But yeah, the harvest. I mean, Phil's the juggernaut on the Harvest program, and I'm telling you, I love the way the beds feel. It's a complete roll pack program. You actually own the sales area that you are trading in. It is.
I know. I am, Steve. I'm hyperventilating. You're 100% right.
Yep.
I'm trying to
get it downloaded.
Trying to get this link.
Yep. No worries. Well,
hey, Phil, since you write the checks for James, can you get that link from him, brother, and type it in that chat?
Yep. Because I know our time's running close.
We're okay.
We're okay. All right.
We're okay. Are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay. If you're okay, I'm okay. So when do you actually get in the market, Steve? When are the doors going to be open?
Well, we're usually ready by noon on Friday.
Noon on Friday.
Yeah. And that's, I don't know if you can even get into the complex by then as a retailer, but we're.
They get in on Thursday. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. But we set up. Matt's in on Wednesday. I come in on Thursday. We're usually completely finalized by noon-ish on Friday, and we'll be there Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and then I think our West Coast guys will be there Wednesday and Thursday. So
wow, that's great.
Yeah, so we'll be there in its entirety.
Jim, will you hit that link to play that video that Phil just typed into the chat? I wish I could do it. I'm just like, I want to do it. So here is a video regarding Harvest, which is worth the price of admission to get to Vegas by itself without all the other great things in our showroom.
Today's distribution models are far more complex. This complexity has diluted the transparency of traditional partnerships between factory suppliers and brick-and-mortar retailers, not to mention the potential confusion and frustration it has caused for mattress consumers. Digital retail formats have had a profound impact that has forever changed our industry. Some of this change has been positive, and some not so much. Let's first address the positives. Consumers, now more than ever, have access to more information at their fingertips. Retailers have a newfound ability to reach new prospective consumers in more ways than ever. Building a brand is expensive. In the past, building a mattress brand was done over several years by incentivizing hundreds of retailer partners nationwide to advertise the XYZ brand at a local level. Collectively, this partnership approach to branding presented mattress manufacturers an affordable, efficient way of building their brands and a national voice to familiarize consumers with their respective brands. Ah, the good old days. Well, it's not really like this anymore. Today's landscape is much different, as retailers face increasingly tough competition from all angles. In most cases, from the very suppliers and brands they continue to support with their precious marketing efforts. Over the past 10 years, We've witnessed our industry's legacy brands struggle for relevancy as they go head-to-head with their newfound digital competitors. This struggle has led our industry's legacy brands to go direct to consumer, and in some cases, even build out their very own brick-and-mortar physical presence. Additionally, newfound native digital brands are forming partnerships across the country in hopes of decreasing mattress returns and their customer acquisition costs. These distribution models lack transparency and have great potential of diluting both the prospective retailer partners' profit potential and market position, not to mention consumer frustration of dealing with returns and the lack of a seamless service processes at a local level. Now, let's review some of the negative impacts digital has had on our sales environment. 1. Unsustainable guarantees. Sleep trial promises. Forever warranties. Really? 2. Strained factory retailer partner relationships. Retailers now compete with the very suppliers they help build, confusing consumer sales funnels. We've developed a solution, a new modern-day partnership that solves today's broken mattress distribution models and complex business partnerships. A model that best serves both consumers and its retail partner community in a more transparent way. Introducing the Harvest Green Marketplace, the internet's first mattress brand owned by its community retailer network. Our goal is simple. We want to educate consumers on a better, more responsible way to buy without alienating the seasoned e-commerce consumer. We've created a model that motivates consumers to experience our products locally in person that has proven to increase consumer satisfaction. Our unique model also protects our retail partners from today's showrooming consumers that simply want to test drive and purchase later online. Here's how it works. First, you acquire or are presented with a territory. Within this territory, you'll do what you're currently doing, which is marketing a brand at a local level. Within this territory, Harvest will pay you for any and all transactions that transact on our first-hand controlled marketplaces. Outside of that, it's business as usual. You sell in-store or on your website as you would any other products you offer. All you need to do is represent a minimum of 2 Harvest mattresses and 2 Harvest mattress toppers on your sales floor, as well as a simple do-follow link from your website to a unique page on our website. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3, and we'll help you along the way. Imagine the return on your marketing efforts. Imagine the power of a collective, national effort led by our retail network community of partnerships across the country and beyond. A one-for-all, all-for-one format, offering distribution protection at the local level with a national brand voice. Harvesting partnerships is what we do, and it's how we can win today's battle. We have a vision, we have a model together, and we can harvest a more sustainable future. Now, let's briefly walk through the math of a potential Harvest Marketplace online transaction. Mattress retail amount, minus cost of shipping, minus Harvest platform fee, 7%, minus wholesale cost of product, equals retail profit due back to you.
How was the timing on that?
Pretty good.
Pretty doggone good.
So we're going to put that in the show notes. We're going to put that link in the show notes, okay? So that any dealers that see this that have interest, they can watch it for themselves and they can follow up. So any comments you guys want to make? We really don't have to rush. I mean, you can take a few minutes and talk about the video. Any comments you guys want to make about Harvest and why people should come and see us in B1118 in Vegas?
Yeah, so you saw in the video, you know, the difference here is we're really attacking the business model in general that is happening in today's environment with the big brands. So what happens here, somebody looks at the bed and showrooms you and then goes and buys it online. Well, we'll give you that revenue share, right? So you're not being left out. You're not competing against the actual brand that's on your floor. But the other thing that we're doing here is all of the beds in this line, they're all Green Guard Gold certified, all natural materials. And we have them being made now from multiple distribution points. So we make them in Chicago, we make them in California, we make them in New Jersey, we make them in Washington. They're being made from all over the place. So that lowers your shipping cost. And, we're really able to service this program very well throughout the entire country and create a partnership with our retailers, which is, I think just a different model than anyone else is going for. And one that, like Steve said, you're doing a disservice if you're not a harvest dealer. So,
Steve, you got anything? You're going to close the show out, brother.
Oh boy, come see us in Vegas. By the way, we talked about like 2 items out of like 5 more that we didn't even get to. We are going to show a few more wellness beds, which are phenomenal. We're also going to introduce a few more duvets. We'll still have the English-made beds, the Millbrooks, which again, if you want to be at the upper scale of bedding, that truly is. It's such a great value at every price level, the whole way down that Millbrook line. Again, we have the Harvest, we have the Wellness, we have the Lifetime beds that will be there. And then we have a full line of Eclipse and Eastman House that'll be on display. Plus, we'll have the great one, the great bed, which is Velika, which that new Purist bed from Velika may be one of my favorite comfortable beds back there. That guy, he's the one that came up with it. Anyhow, wonderful. Thank you, Pete, very much for having
my
us
pleasure.
online. And again, we wish you the absolute best for your upcoming surgery. And I'll be thinking about you every day while I'm at market.
Thank you. And I lied. I'm going to finish the show up because you did miss one thing, and you are amazing. I have to say just 2 things before we close out. Phil, you are a breath of fresh air. You taking over the ownership and leading the team in the Midwest has been an absolute godsend to me. And thank you for everything you've done for me since last November. I just love being part of this team that you're leading. And Steve, you're like a brother from another mother. It's unbelievable. I know what you're going to say. You know what I'm going to say. We work so well together and we have so much fun. So here's the part that you left out, my friend. If you are a retailer that says, these brands are great, but, I want to do my own thing, and you can do substantial business, we're your guy. Come into B1118 in Vegas. Our whole executive team is there. Our creative people are there. Our product development team is there. Come see us in Vegas if you want the best private label products in the industry has to offer. How's that?
You did a great job, Pete, because we truly are like the best private label person out there at every level and fashion. Yep.
There are private labels out there that nobody knows we make.
Yep. And we keep quiet about that.
If you loved what you saw here and you want to talk to Steve, we're going to put Steve's information up there right now. And Steve's phone number is 717-554-5370. How many dudes let you call him like that? And if you want to talk to Phil had a lot to say, and he does so much for our business. Call him at 3. No, don't call him. Go to LinkedIn, private message him. This poor guy, he probably gets 200 to 300 emails a day. But I'm going to tell you something. He doesn't go to bed till he answers just about every one of them. I don't know how many times we're talking late at night and early in the morning and getting stuff done. So, guys, thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule. If you own a store and you're going to Vegas, please stop in B1118. Come see Harvest. Come see Wellness. Come see Millbrook. Come see Velika. Come see Hemingway. There is so much to see. Lifetime. I mean, you're just cheating yourself if you don't come in and see this space. And if you're not going to Vegas, pick up the phone, call us, reach out to us. We're here to serve you. And thank you for spending time with us today. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Have a
Pete.
good one. Take care.